Hey guys, for this next set of notes we are looking at drawing circles within the coordinate plane. So it says let x and y represent any point on a circle with the center at the origin and a radius of r. By the Pythagorean theorem we have this information. X squared plus y squared equals r squared. And if you look at the picture up there, you should see that right triangle. We're going right a distance of x, up a distance of y to that point on the circle. And that radius then is from the center straight out. That's the equation of a circle with a radius r with center at the origin. And that's important because we're going to move off the origin in a little bit. So write the equation of this circle. Well, we just write it as x squared plus y squared equals r squared. And in this case, coming from the center out, we're going a distance of 3. So 3 squared would be 9. That's your equation. That's all you have to write. So now, what if we move off the origin? Suppose a circle has a radius r and center hk. Let xy be a point on the circle. The distance between xy and hk is the radius. So by our distance formula, we know this. Now this is just true by distance formula, but we're going to square both sides of this to get the standard equation of a circle, which you can see below on your notes. So we square the left-hand side, and that means the square root just goes away. We square the right-hand side, and that means we're at r squared. So here is the equation that you need to know. The x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared is equal to r squared. So for this next example, it says, given the center and radius, write the standard equation of a circle. So we're still going to leave x and y in there. We don't replace them with anything. So we have x minus my h value. Well, the h value is the x value of the center, and the k value is the y value. So I have x minus 1 quantity squared plus y minus a negative 2. And anytime we have minus a negative, we could change that to a plus 2 quantity squared is equal to r squared. So if the radius is 8, then this would be 64. And do go ahead and multiply that out. Don't leave that as 8 squared, please. All right, for the next one, I have x minus a negative 3 or plus 3 quantity squared, and then I have y minus a negative 4 or plus 4 quantity squared, and then I have equals 10 squared or 100. For this last one, I have x minus 0 quantity squared or just x squared. Either way you write that is fine, plus y minus 2 quantity squared is equal to the square root of 6 squared. Those are opposite operations, so we end up with just 6. Okay, this one is having us work backwards. So here's the equation. Find the center, find the radius. So the center is x minus positive 4, y minus positive 3, so 4, 3. And then the radius is the square root of 49, which is 7. Notice it can be a negative 7 because radius, we're talking a distance. Okay, so the center here is a positive 13 and a negative 8. And then the radius is 12. On example C, our center, we haven't added or subtracted anything, so we're at 0, 0. And our radius is 11. So example 4 says, write the standard equation for the given circle. Well, we're going to use the same process we did before. Our center here is at 0, 0. Our radius, be careful of your scale here, we're going out a distance of 6. So our radius is 6. So when we write our equation, we have x squared plus y squared is equal to 6 squared, which would be 36. Over here, our center isn't marked, but we can see it's right here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1. So center is at 3, 1. And our radius is a distance of 2 out from the center. So we have x minus 3 quantity squared plus y minus 1 quantity squared is equal to 2 squared, which is 4. Alright, example 5 says use the given information to write the standard equation of the circle. So the center is at 0, 0, and the point on the circle is at 4, 0. I'm going to sketch this out right here. So if the center is at 0, 0, and a point is at 4, 0, then I can easily tell that my radius there is 4, and I know my center. So I have x minus 0, just x squared, plus y minus 0, just y squared, is equal to 16. This next one is a little more challenging, I think, because it tells us that our center is at 2, 4. And then a point on the circle is at negative 3, 16. And I'm just going to kind of sketch this. So the radius is this direction. So we don't know the length of this radius. So I'm going to use our formula here to help us. X minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared is equal to r squared. So we know our center is h and k, and we know that a point on the circle is x and y. We're trying to find that r value. So I'm going to plug in x is negative 3, minus h is 2, y is 16, minus k is 4, and that equals r squared. So negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5, and then 16 minus 4 is 12. So negative 5 squared is 25, 12 squared is 144. That equals the radius squared. So 169 equals the radius squared. Square root, that tells me the radius is 13. But that's not the equation. We need to now plug it back into here. So we're going to leave x minus, we go back to our center, x minus 2 squared plus y minus 4 squared is equal to our radius squared, so 13 squared, or 169. Okay, then graph a circle with the given equation. So we have x squared plus y squared, so since we're not moving off the center, there's the center, equals 64. So that tells me my radius is 8. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Now, I can travel 8 in every direction. If you have your compass out, you can draw a nice circle here using your compass, and I would prefer you use your compass. I'm going to kind of sketch this out. And so you're going to draw a circle like that on your graph. We'll do the same thing on this one, except we are moving off the center. So this tells me that my center is positive 4, negative 1. Then my radius is 4. So from the center, I'm going to count out 4 in all directions. And then use your compass to draw a nicer circle than what I'm drawing. Alright, so that's where we are stopping for today. If you have questions, feel free to come in and see me. I will see you in class.